I can't. I just think Conor Benn's going to win. Too young, too fresh. Although, listen, Eubank, it took a lot for him to come back after getting viciously knocked out by Liam Smith, to come back and beat Liam Smith.
Backing Conor Benn, I know Conor, spoke to him a few times, always been a top bloke to me. His dad's a top bloke, his dad's a legend, and I'll be backing him, but it's going to be difficult, as he's already alluded to, the two weight divisions coming up, but it'll also be difficult for Eubank to stay within that hydration clause, I think it is, so it's all to play for both men.
Very tough fight for Conor. Not saying he can't win it, because one big left hook could change anything. But to me, his best chance are to try to land a big shot. If that don't happen, or if he lands it and it don't hurt Chris, then it's going to be pretty rough for him, because Chris is definitely an improved.
The Atlas was very straightforward when talking about the upcoming fight between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. He made a bold prediction. Eubank Jr.'s success will depend on how fast his hands are and his ability to control the distance, using counterpunches accurately. Eubank Jr. is at his best when he has space to move, where his skills really stand out. On the other hand, Benn is ready to bring the pressure. He'll try to close the distance quickly, limiting Eubank Jr.'s movement and forcing him into a fight he doesn't want. Benn's plan is all about disrupting Eubank Jr.'s rhythm, making it hard for him to land his punches effectively. The big question now is whether Eubank Jr. can keep his distance and stick to his strategy, or if Benn's constant pressure will break through and change the fight. This matchup is going to shake up the boxing world.
Eubanks, wants to probably keep it on the outside as much as he can and use his skill sets to, use his hand speed and his ability to throw counter punches and, punches from different angles. He needs space, or space accommodates him pretty well and favors him pretty well when he has that space to do that. And I would think that Ben would like to take that space away, like to kind of work his way in and maybe go to the body like a better BF with a Bevo, take the legs away,
Teddy Atlas praised Eubank Jr.'s ability to control the distance when he's focused, highlighting his sharp boxing skills and the importance of having the right mindset. He also admired Benn's mix of aggression and disciplined defense, pointing out how the contrast between their fighting styles makes the matchup even more interesting. The clash of these two approaches sets the stage for an exciting and unpredictable fight.
I like the ability of Eubanks when he's right, when his focus is there, when he's right, to be able to do things in a boxing way on the outside. And I love Ben's style and his approach, I do, where, being aggressive in a responsible way, in a way a fighter should be, with paying attention to, doing it with defense and responsibility of defense and, just proper way to engage somebody, but the consistent offense looking to, to engage.
McGuigan favored Conor Benn in the upcoming fight, pointing out Eubank Jr.'s compromised durability after his knockout loss to Liam Smith. While he recognized Eubank's toughness and size, McGuigan believed Benn's speed and power would give him the advantage. He argued that Benn hits harder than Smith, which could be a key factor in exploiting any weaknesses in Eubank's defense. McGuigan also highlighted Benn's ability to close the distance quickly and land powerful shots, putting Eubank under pressure and making it hard for him to control the pace and distance of the fight.
I think it's a great fight. I would pick Benn at the minute, simply because Eubank was cracked by Liam Smith, and he was never cracked before. And it's a summary for me. He had a great chin up to then, and then he was knocked out, and it's never quite the same again. I think Ben is a more explosive fighter than Liam Smith. He's faster. He punches hard, but then a good big one will always beat a good little one. All those cliches. But I just think I would give Ben the edge. But
Gareth A. Davies stated that the fight between Conor Benn and Eubank Jr. has never been more significant, especially after Benn's drug test controversy. He expects Benn to come out aggressively early, driven by frustration, but believes Eubank's experience against tougher opponents will give him the edge. Despite Eubank's age and knockout loss to Liam Smith, Davies predicts that Eubank will win by points. He argued that Eubank's ability to handle pressure, along with his superior ring skills, will help him survive Benn's early attack and ultimately secure a decision victory in what is expected to be an intense and high-stakes battle.
Yeah, well, it's bigger than it ever was. It's 3 times bigger than it was before the 2 positive clomiphene tests. Ben's dangerous early in that fight, in my view, because he's coming with all that stinging venom and kind of pent-up aggression that he's developed over the last 2.5 years. But I think Eubank's fought the better level of opponents, even though he's aged 2.5 years and he's been knocked out by Liam Smith.
Davies emphasized the excitement surrounding the build-up to the fight, with Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. adding emotional drama to the rivalry. He highlighted the fight's importance in British boxing history, making it a must-watch, especially for those who witnessed the original Benn versus Eubank battles. The clash between the sons of these legendary figures has reignited old passions and created a captivating storyline, further fueling anticipation. According to Davies, the legacy of these iconic fighters only raises the stakes, promising an unforgettable spectacle for boxing fans, both old and new. This fight is shaping up to be a historic moment in the sport.
Looking forward to the build-up once they get the fathers involved. April the 26th. Nigel and Conor are both emotional, and Chris both play the villain, don't they?
Okay.
Even though I think in this one, Eubank Jr. is going to be able to sit back a little bit. Yeah, some people are saying that they don't think the fight means anything, but I think the bloodline in British sport.
Any man in the UK who's watched the dad's fight.
Eddie Hearn backed the Benn versus Eubank Jr. matchup, calling it an evenly balanced contest between 2 top fighters. He dismissed claims of a mismatch, emphasizing the legendary feud between their fathers and pointing out that the rivalry between the sons has now become the most heated in British boxing. Hearn believes the personal history between the families adds a unique layer of intensity to the fight, making it more than just a clash of athletes. It's a battle of legacies. This makes the bout not only exciting, but also significant in the context of British boxing history.
What the circus is and what you're a fool to buy into, it's a really good fight. It's a 50-50 fight between 2 guys that are world ranked in their division. I mean, he's making out like neither of them have ever boxed before. They're both used to this. It's a mismatch. It's not. It's a 50-50 fight between 2 world-ranked fighters who, by the way, fathers happen to be Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank, who had the biggest rivalry ever in British boxing, and, by the way, whose sons now have, by far, the biggest rivalry in British boxing.
Sam Jones is confident that Conor Benn will come out on top in the fight, citing his youth and boundless energy as key advantages. He believes that Benn's stamina and his hunger to prove himself in the ring will be crucial in securing the win. While Jones acknowledged Eubank's resilience after his brutal knockout loss to Liam Smith, noting that Eubank managed to bounce back and defeat Smith in their rematch, he emphasized Eubank's ability to recover and fight through adversity. Despite this, Jones remains firm in his belief that Benn's youth will be the decisive factor in the fight.
I just think Conor Benn's going to win. Too young, too fresh. And although, listen, Eubank, it took a lot for him to come back after getting viciously knocked out by Liam Smith, to come back and beat Liam Smith. Sam Jones believes that the timing of the fight is perfect for Conor Benn and confidently favors him to win. While he acknowledges Eubank Jr.'s impressive skill and potential, Jones feels that Eubank could have been a much bigger star with the right promotion and backing. Despite praising Eubank's personality and appeal in the sport, Jones predicts that Benn will rise to the occasion and deliver a knockout victory. He believes that Benn's hunger, youth, and perfect timing will ultimately overpower Eubank Jr., making the fight an unforgettable showdown, with Benn securing the win. I just think the fight's happening at the right time for Conor Benn. I think the fight's happening at the right time, and I favour Conor Benn in the fight.
Yeah.
I think Eubank Jr. is good for boxing. Genuinely, I think Chris Jr. is good for boxing. I think that if he was promoted by a Frank Warren or an Eddie Hearn back in the day when he turned pro, he would be an even bigger star than what he is now, because of how he is. He's funny, like he's mild. He's quite funny, isn't he, Eubank Jr.? He speaks well. But yeah, I think he's good for boxing, but I just think Conor Benn's going to chin him.
Roy Jones Jr. acknowledged that Conor Benn faces a tough challenge against Eubank Jr., but suggested that Benn's best chance for an upset could lie in landing a well-timed left hook. However, Jones also pointed out that if Benn fails to hurt Eubank early, the fight would likely shift in Eubank's favor. He highlighted Eubank's significant improvements, noting that a year of training together had sharpened his skills, making him a more dangerous opponent. The contrast between Benn's aggression and Eubank's refined technique could define the outcome, with Eubank's experience ultimately giving him the edge.
Very tough fight for Conor. Not saying he can't win it because one big left hook could change anything. But to me, his best chances are to try to land a big shot. If that don't happen, or if he lands it and it don't hurt Chris, then it's gonna be pretty rough for him because Chris is definitely an improved fighter. You understand me? And like even the stuff he's doing now, he's gonna continue to get better. But I think when he came down there with me for that year, it improved his foundation. You understand me? So it made him a better fighter. So he's gonna be hard to beat for anybody, especially a guy that's smaller than him. But we saw Liam Smith fly off the upset that one time. So I know that gave Ben much more hope that he could probably do the same. So it's gonna be a great fight. Both fighters are great fighters. I love both of them. I think Chris is a little bigger and has the advantage because he's bigger, but it's gonna be a great fight.
You know what, a lot of people are talking about it, Roy, you know about cutting weight and whatnot. A lot of people are talking about Chris Eubank Jr. now being at 160 and maybe being tight at that weight now, but the rehydration clause, £10, I'm saying, listen, with a £10 rehydration clause in it, that won't affect him at all.
That won't affect him at all, but I don't really think Chris was big on rehydrating anyway, so I don't think he's gonna get that big, you know what I mean? He might, but I don't think 10 pounds bothers him at all.
Fast forward for another light heavyweight contest going Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol, February the 26th.
Roy Jones Jr. recognized Conor Benn's strong will, especially after his surprising defeat to Liam Smith, which could serve as motivation. However, he also pointed out Eubank Jr.'s size and significant progress over the years, making him the likely favorite. While he praised both fighters for their unique strengths, Jones emphasized that Eubank Jr.'s physical edge, his size, reach, and strength would likely give him the advantage in a fight that could go the distance. Benn's determination could push him hard, but it would be Eubank's all-around abilities and improvements that could ultimately decide the outcome.
He's gonna be hard to beat for anybody, especially a guy that's smaller than him. But we saw Liam Smith fly off the upset that one time, so I know that gave Ben much more hope that he could probably do the same. So it's gonna be a great fight. Both fighters are great fighters. I love both of them. I think Chris is a little bigger and has the advantage because he's bigger, but it's going to be a great fight.
Jamie Moore acknowledged that both Eubank Jr. and Benn are experts at hyping up a fight, creating massive anticipation, as shown by the 120,000 people in the ticket queue. He highlighted that such events attract casual viewers, broadening boxing's audience and benefiting the sport overall. Moore believes this fight has gone beyond just hardcore fans, drawing in a wider crowd and generating significant mainstream attention. The hype surrounding the bout proves how well both fighters can sell a story, making it one of the most anticipated events in British boxing history.
They know how to sell a fight, absolutely. Both of them, Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, they know what they're doing, they know how to sell a fight, and everyone's talking about it. So job done. You know, I seen a thing that there was 120,000 people in the queue for tickets. So if that's the case, then phenomenal. And it's the type of fight where people who aren't boxing fans are going to be watching, which brings in a whole new audience, which is only a good thing for boxing.
It sounds like an incredibly exciting and evenly matched fight with intense rivalries and differing opinions on the outcome. Both fighters bring unique strengths and challenges to the table, making this an explosive showdown. Eubank Jr.'s experience and size against Benn's speed and hunger for redemption will create a clash of styles that could go either way. The drama surrounding their father's legendary rivalry adds another layer of intensity to the narrative. It's clear this will be a high-stakes, action-packed battle that will have fans on the edge of their seats. If you enjoyed the discussion, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what everyone thinks about the fight and who they believe will come out on top. It's all building up to an epic showdown that will change British boxing forever.